Welcome back to Peace Unplugged. Here for you is a lot more history of Birchington-on-Sea. Enjoy. It's what used to be the Tudor sweet shop when I was a child. Now an empty shop, has been for some months. Be interesting to see what comes up later on. Anyway, frequented by myself in my childhood during the 1970s. Many a time I walked up here. View on down now past where I used to live. Bungalow and Lancaster Gardens. Again, part of my growing up in the 1970s. This is a very quiet, genteel part of Birchington. I was one of very few children that lived on this little bungalow estate. Mostly, as it is now, occupied by older or retired people living here. This is the part of Farmland where there are controversial plans for housing. It's a piece of farmland I used to cross on this footpath again in my childhood. It would be a shame to see it turned into housing. However, I will say that I believe housing's needed. That's affordable housing in this area. But it appears the plans are not very well thought out. There's a lack of consideration for infrastructure for the area. Seems almost a certainty it's going to happen, but not 100%. So apparently still a fight going on. Again, there's a calmness and a beauty about this piece of land. Very much defines the area. I do wonder whether this area may have some evidence of Anglo-Saxon settlement. As per some of the research I've done of the people known as the, never quite sure how to pronounce it, the Cantii or the Cantai, C-A-N-T-I-I. Perhaps that'll be discovered once they start working, if they are going to build houses along here. And here's the style to the railway crossing. There's a sign from Memory Hood of 1970s, says stop, look, listen. In those days it wasn't just across railways, it was across roads. It's now leading down towards Minnis Bay. Another really nice day to go for a walk. Just the beginning of March 2026. Heading down to Minnis Bay from the field and a little railway crossing. That railway crossing apparently is rumoured to be having a proper footbridge, which seems likely if they're going to build houses on that field. And here we have the somewhat famous Minnis Bay Dip. Very popular place to come down to in the summertime. And every year it gets used by Holiday Club, which is a club that's been running for I don't know how many years, I think over 100 years possibly. So it's quite famous actually from the point of view that those who volunteer to help out the Scripture Union are often people that come from all over the world. Not only do they volunteer for that 2 weeks holiday, they actually pay to be part of it, just to give the children around here a bit of fun and a bit of holiday. During the 1970s, during a particularly rough storm, this dip was filled with water as the sea crashed over. And it was for a few months. I can remember people coming down in their canoes and their kayaks until it was eventually emptied. It's also an area popular with fishermen, although not so much these days. It's all been overfished. Out there in the distance again, Reculver Towers and the sea wall. The area famous for the trialling of the bouncing bomb, Barnes Wallis. Just imagine for a moment this was the bay, probably then known as Gore End, where the infamous smuggler Daniel Flagg brought in gin and tea, amongst other contraband.